Latinos now realize that if they actually want to classify them, they will classify them as people of color. So a lot of them are pain, a lot of them are raged, a lot of them are furious because, when these people started all of this, their boats and the rest of that, they were thinking that every single ship that is going to be sailing with white people is going to be sailing with them. Right now, they are coming to that realization like, we are pained. We are pained. We're supposed to be calling out each other. In fact, if you're a racist Latino, come and sit down. We have a conversation. That is what they are now telling themselves. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, let's dive right into this video. I'll be back with commentaries.
Right now, there's some Latinos that want to distance themselves from like the racist Latinos without acknowledging that racism exists in the Latino community. Because I remember growing up and being labeled a word because I had a black friend. Now, this is me growing up in South Central Los Angeles, being Mexican American, and other Latinos, Mexican Americans would call me a specific word because I had a black friend. And people were labeling me this word from elementary to middle school. Experiences like that are a reflection on how normalized anti-blackness can be in the Latino community and how it becomes so normalized during our development. Go ahead and let me know what you think.
Asians and Hispanics be on white people dick too much for me, because I've seen Asian people come out in protest of black people getting reparations. Has nothing to do with them. I've seen Hispanic people come out in protest of black people getting reparations, and it has nothing to do with you. Now, I've also seen the latter, or the whatever. I've also seen on the opposite end of the scale, some people of color in agreement that black people in America should receive reparations, right? Dr. Claude Anderson, formulated the FBA to establish a group here in America of people that descended from slavery for the purpose of receiving reparations. And that's spiraled into whatever it spiraled to because, the CIA. And everyone seems to fear a black economic stronghold or black economic power because everyone knows we don't really need them. So they tirelessly try to keep us dependent on them, and they do this systemically. And they do this through a brainwashing of sorts. So by always giving other minorities or people of color somebody to look down on, well, if black people get repaired for what's been done to us. And I would make an argument that at this point, not only reparations for slavery, but reparations for Jim Crow and reparations for the crack epidemic. Everybody seems to have an issue with the black economic independence. And I'll say this because they understand the game. They understand that if black people start ascending economically, well, we won't be at the bottom of the totem pole, and one of y'all niggas will. That's the only way this thing works. That's the only way this system works. It has to have somebody at the bottom. It has to have somebody to punch down on. You niggas come over here and y'all get real fluent in the punch down game. And for whatever reason, we always seem to be the victims and we ain't did shit to none of y'all. White people oppress you as well. And white people oppress themselves. Yet all the fallout seems to come.
What if Black, Latino, and Asian communities stopped waiting to be included and started building together? Not as a slogan, not as a hashtag, but as an economic strategy. Every major shift in power in this country has followed the same rule. Whoever controls production or distribution and capital controls their future. And right now, our communities produce the labor, the culture, and the demand, but other people capture the value. That isn't an accident. That's a design flaw that we can change. The truth is, individually, our communities are told we're too small, we're too divided, or too risky to invest in. Together, that argument collapses. Combined, Black, Latino, and Asian communities represent tens of trillions in lifetime spending power, a dominant share of small business creation, the backbone of logistics, healthcare, construction, food, tech, and service labor, the future demographic majority of this country. Yet we still operate like isolated islands, competing for scraps, fighting over narratives, and shopping from corporations that don't even reinvest in our neighborhoods. That isn't diversity. That's fragmentation. When communities intentionally do business with each other, money stops leaking out as fast, jobs stabilize, businesses survive long enough to grow, and families build assets instead of just income. More importantly, power becomes structural instead of symbolic. You got city leaders that's going to listen when you control the contracts. Banks, they negotiate when you move capital together. Media shifts tone when you are economically unavoidable. Politicians stop playing games when jobs and tax bases depend on you. This isn't about exclusion. It's about self-respect and self-preservation. They don't want to have this conversation because history shows that when marginalized groups cooperate economically, the rules suddenly change. New fears get manufactured, right? Communities get pitted against each other. Culture wars replace policy discussions. Division is cheaper than justice. Fragmentation is easier than reform. If we stay divided, nothing has to change. This isn't anti-anyone, it's pro-community. No one questions corporations when they buy from their own networks. No one asks why wealthy families invest together. No one shames other groups for protecting their economic interests. Only us. And that shame has a purpose. The question isn't, is it allowed? The question is, how long can we afford not to? Because every year that we delay, more businesses get closed, more wealth exits our communities, more young people inherit struggle instead of opportunity. Coordination doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment, discipline, and a trust built through action. If Black, Latino, and Asian communities chose cooperation over competition, not in theory, but in contracts, hiring, and capital, the economic map of this country would change faster than most people are ready for. That's why the idea feels threatening, and that's how you know it matters. This isn't about hate. This is about building something strong enough that hate.
The people of color are funny to me. And I say the people of color as in the non-Black people of color. The way that they drop to their knees and just absolutely gag on white people is wild as fuck to me. And it's wild because every time I see it, I'm like, you know, they can't tell y'all apart, right? These white people don't give a fuck about y'all. They like us better than they like you, bitch. Like, it's so fucking funny. It's like when Mexicans are racist and they prefer white people. I'm like, bitch, they see a Guatemalan, they see Mexican. They see a Brazilian, they think Mexican. They see an Argentinian, Mexican. Anybody who's Spanish speaking to these motherfuckers is Mexican. And those are the ones that you prefer. It's like when Asian people are trying to push up on white people and trying to be in their spaces and shit. And when that happens specifically, when it's like Asian people caping for white people and glazing white people, you know what I think about? Y'all ever watch King of the Hill? When Hank meets his neighbor, what is his neighbor's name? Long or Lamb or something like that. Hank meets his neighbor for the first time. He's like, so, are you Chinese or Japanese? And his neighbor's like, I'm Laotian. And Hank's like, fuck is Laotian? He's like, I'm from Laos. It's a small country off the coast of China. I am Laotian. And Hank is like, so you're Chinese or Japanese? That's really how they see y'all. And these are the people that you want to be so close to. Motherfucker, they don't know you like that. They don't give a fuck about their own. You think they care about you? They think that all they see is black and white, and then they see Chinese or Japanese. They don't even know the difference. They don't know what Chinese looks like. They don't know how to tell the difference between Chinese and Japanese people. They don't know the difference between, like, they say speaking Chinese unironically. They don't know that it's called Mandarin. These white people don't give a fuck about y'all. And so for y'all to turn around and direct all of your ire toward black people, These white people got y'all super confused. And I'm so like in Latino people's business because I've had Latino friends and mutuals tell me y'all's tea, that colorism shit y'all got going on, that Mayor La Raza or whatever the fuck you call it, better the race by marrying white, having babies with white people. What do y'all think is going on here? You think that just because you guys share the same conservative values as some of these white people that they see you as one of their own? I don't give a fuck if you are a Latina with blonde hair and blue eyes. These people think that you are the servants class. The same way that they saw black people in the 50s is how they see Latino people now. And these are the people that you're trying to push up on? Not the people who are very familiar with your struggle and can tell you how to get out of it, or at the very least how to navigate it. The people of color communities don't have the same survival instincts as the black community, and that's the problem.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and it might piss some people off, but I don't give a fuck. Respectfully, Asian Americans, if you're not willing to stand up and fight against this shit, because I never see y'all on the front lines. Never. Y'all can get the fuck out of America. I'll go ahead and say it. Y'all not willing to fight and stand on the front lines, Asian Americans, because every time something comes up, including Asians, hey, I don't see y'all motherfuckers. I don't see y'all. Y'all not white. Okay? Asian Americans, y'all not white. Stop fucking coming here and acting like that. Acting like this not your motherfucking problem. Because I done talked to a few of y'all, and y'all under the concept that, oh, well, I just don't do that. It's really not my problem. I'm not gonna... Fuck you. If that's how you think, fuck you. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. If you not willing to fight against the hierarchy of white supremacy, Asian Americans, get the fuck out of America. I said it. Get the fuck out.
Cannot dismantle racism until misogyny gets addressed. Men of the global majority will quickly turn on their women from their background, from their culture, so that they have a better chance of climbing the ladder. Starting from your family of origin, the dynamics of the oppressed groups, regardless of how much money you had. But if you had less money and less status, then the scarcity drives even more misogyny. The fact about men of the global majority is that they actually need their women to support them and help them. And in turn, they need to provide protection so everyone can climb together. The greatest danger to a supremacist structure is unity between those who are oppressed. But that unity rarely happens. There's rarely any true solidarity. The second layer to this problem are women of the global majority who see other women of the global majority, whether they belong to their cultural or ethnic background or not, as leverages as well. Misogyny shows up only when it is their turn to support other women of the global majority. When it comes to getting something from the same group of women, everyone, including women of the global majority, are very happy. But when it comes down to them having to show up and support, none of that happens. They have more patience for their oppressors, men, especially white men, to the point that they're willing to work on their communication. They're willing to go to therapy with a random ass white dude they met off Tinder, then to work out a problem, whether that's communication or ideology conflict between another woman of the global majority who they claim they're ride or die. And yes, this sounds very personalized, but lived experiences are part of understanding the human condition. The women from your family are much more willing to believe a random ass man, especially a white man who they have no rapport with, than to believe your perspective. Somehow they need to scrutinize your lived experiences. But the moment a white man stands up, they're on their knees. This is why we will never ever solve racial tension and issues until misogyny is addressed. There's no trust, there's no solidarity. Everybody wants a matriarchy until they have to show up for somebody else. Everybody wants a community until they have to do what's uncomfortable and still complying. Everyone wants space held for them, care and mature leadership extended to them, but they themselves do not feel any responsibility towards those they claim to have solidarity with. Instead, the majority of women of the global majority see themselves as some kind of exception where they just have to find the right type of man that's going to respond to them differently. Better luck next time when in systemic oppression, nobody is an exception. You're just getting the same shit in a different package.
Americans need to start abusing their proximity to whiteness. There is a critical conversation that Asian Americans need to partake in more seriously. Our proximity to whiteness is conditional. It acts as a political relation to divide, not to form true liberation. Proximity to whiteness is not inclusion. It is temporary alignment granted through compliance, silence, and perceived usefulness to dominant power. History shows us this clearly. Asian Americans are tolerated in moments of stability and scapegoated in moments of crisis. Things like war, economic downturns, pandemics, shifts in U.S. imperial interests. These are two truths that Asian Americans need to accept in starting to rectify our anti-blackness. We do experience material benefit from this proximity, and we benefit from anti-blackness while experiencing racism ourselves. But those benefits are uneven, revocable, and contingent. The question then is not whether proximity to whiteness exists, but whether that proximity to whiteness is being mobilized towards collective liberation, or is it being absorbed into individual advancement, what our parents did, like what generations before us did. When proximity to whiteness is primarily being used for personal safety, class mobility, or social legitimacy, it ultimately reproduces the very racial hierarchies that keep Asian Americans disposable. However, when leveraged intentionally, this proximity can function as a site of intervention to interrupt anti-blackness, to contest U.S. imperialism, to oppose carceral systems, deportation regimes, and racialized surveillance. This means using access to institutions, to platforms, and decision-making spaces to redirect resources, to challenge narratives, and destabilize the logistics of respectability and model minority governance. Solidarity is not performance. It is not symbolic alignment. Solidarity is not cultural proximity. So even if you are Asian and grow up in black neighborhoods, someone from the DMV, is material, political, redistributive. Asian Americans, particularly those who are closest to whiteness, typically occupy positions of relative protection under racial capitalism. And their refusal to act from that position is not neutrality. It's practically giving them consent. If proximity to whiteness does not produce any structural, political, or cultural transformation, then it serves not as protection, but as complicity. The question is not whether we have access, but whether we are willing to use it in ways that will threaten the system that made it in the first place. Asian Americans, stand the fuck up. As an Asian American, as a Korean American that was born in Korea and immigrated to the US and was raised in the DMV, I have deep solidarity, deep love, deep appreciation for the Black community always. And the Asian American community needs to start abusing that proximity. Anyway, this is my look for today. I am going to my gallery opening at Brea Gallery in California, so please go visit, go see my work. And as always, if I've expanded your attention spans, please follow my Instagram and subscribe to my new YouTube.
So Latinos are now finding out that being racist actually cannot add anything to their pockets. Latinos are now realizing that all of this why that they have taken their time to customize themselves, I call it customization, with these white folks has literally not profited them. And this is not one of their realization video. This is a video where a lot of them are even holding each other accountable and calling each other to build their economic power. You know, a lot of them did not realize the power in Black community until when this Asian stuff literally happened, where Black Americans were boycotting Asian stores and Asians were regretting, Asians were crying, because at first Asians think that this thing is actually going to be a joke until they realize that yes, there is power in the Black community. And then the Latinos have to now sit down and reset back and then start thinking within themselves who have literally been their allied and how Black people have literally been their super solidarity, and of which this is exactly what we have been talking about for the past how many years, trying to educate these Latinos and making them know that the fact that you're trying to have a proximity with whiteness will never make you white. So right now Latinos are realizing that Latinos are now looking for a way to come back into the Black community, but the Black communities are not giving them chance, and of which I love that. I love it. I love when people F around, they are finding out the hard way. I love when people think that nothing can literally happen, Black people can literally not do anything, and then they are now realizing that Black people have literally been their greatest allies. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know, a lot of them tends to think that because of their kind of skin, every single thing relating to whiteness is supposed to be so close to them. Anything that white people are benefiting, they are also supposed to be benefiting. That is why a lot of them went ahead to scream, shout, sing, I will vote Donald Trump. I will vote. Vote Donald Trump. So they came up with all of that shenanigans, thinking that black people are not worth it. Right now, the Latino communities are regretting. The Latino communities are crying because every single finger that is even biting black people is biting them more. Forgetting that black people are already ready for terms like this. One beautiful part about black people, especially black people living in America, is the fact that they understood the system of America. They understand how things works, and because of that, they try every single possible best to go in a single file because we already know how the system works. We already know what to actually come after this particular system. But the more black people keep telling them, the more all of these Latinos keep putting their head as if they're not listening, keep putting deaf ears until they now find out that a situation where white people are supposed to stand for them, white people are literally not standing for them. A situation where they are supposed to say, okay, we have white friends, we have white brothers and sisters, they are not there for them. So they now sit down, they now recall and said, who has been our greatest solidarity? Who have been our greatest ally? Black people. But now it is too late. Anyways, I'm happy they are realizing their pains. I'm happy that at the end of the day, they are ranting and trying to call each other accountable. But I hope this continues because I know that we still have some Latinos that are highly racist. We still have some Latinos that don't even want to have anything. They don't even want to mingle with black people. And of which black people are not begging them to come and mingle with them. It's as simple as ABCD. But what I keep saying is, if black people are not looking for your trouble, if black people are staying out of their way, you to stay out of your way, especially as a Latino, as a Hispanic, as an Asian person, as even African American that literally migrate to America, that don't know what actually transpired in America before. You did not read the history of America. You just want to go to America and start acting all of that whatsoever towards black Americans. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you. Liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.